What's up, guys? It's Japan trip day recap number three. What a day it was! It was a bit bittersweet. I finally had to leave my host family and venture out on my own. Um, and the same day, I got to go on a bus from the Shinjuku area and catch it to the Mount Fuji Kawaguchiko Lake area. It was quite an adventure in itself. It took about an hour and a half to get over to the Kawaguchiko Lake area. And then from there, my hotel was pretty safe and was pretty easy to find. The hotel I'm in is actually the Kawaguchiko Station Inn. It's very inexpensive. You have a traditional Japanese room. They have a traditional onsen on the fourth floor, which is kind of like a bath or a spa where guys can go soak after they shower generally. And so far, it's been really great. That same day, the same day I got here, I went to the Kachi Kachi Ropeway, which is pretty much a ropeway where you can go up on a trolley and have an amazing view of Mount Fuji. That's where I was able to take some really great pictures of Mount Fuji and the surrounding area. On my way up there, I went kind of took the wrong path, went deep into the forest, got some great pictures, but ended up finding out I had gone on the wrong path, had gone too far, and found a Japanese man who pretty much told me to go straight back to the ropeway. He didn't speak English very well, but I was able to understand him. And it was about a half an hour walk back. And then once I got there, the hike down is about another 30 minutes. Now you don't have to get a one-way ticket up the mountain. Most people get a round trip ticket up and back so that they don't have to hike down. And I understood why, because the hike down is brutal on your knees, but I'm pretty young, so it wasn't too bad. But after I had already hiked 30 minutes in one direction and 30 minutes back, 30 minutes down was it was almost like suicide. But it was practically one of the best workouts I've had out here, and I don't regret it whatsoever. So yeah, that was the day in a nutshell. I was able to meet a guy from Thailand in the dinner area in my inn. With dinner, they had curry, like beef curry and rice. Tasted really good as well, and for dirt cheap. Um, and I also found that there's supposed to be a better way of me getting over to the Kyoto area. So I found that out from him, which is really good. Things things happen for a reason. You never know. Another interesting thing about that I learned out here is that there are Japanese vending machines literally everywhere. Here's one of the drinks that they had in the vending machine, and they're not even that expensive. This one was probably 160 yen, so like a buck 60. And this one, it's it's kind of like smart water, which has electrolytes in it. You can taste a bit of lemon, but it's a pretty clear fluid, and it tastes pretty good. It's a perfect thirst quencher, especially when you've been walking all day and you just need something to drink. That Pocari Sweat is it's pretty good. You can get hot or cold beverages from these vending machines, which is pretty cool. And they're found anywhere, either in the country, in the city. You can find them anywhere, and they're very inexpensive. One thing that's really surprised me is that there's a lot of foreign travelers out here that don't speak much Japanese and don't speak much English either, which is pretty surprising because, I don't expect the Japanese to know a lot of Chinese or Korean unless you're at a very touristy area like the Fuji mountain area where they speak a lot of different languages. But if one comes to this country and doesn't speak any Japanese and doesn't speak much English, then they're in for a bit of a roller coaster. You will find Japanese that speak some English words because they learn it from what I was told, they learn it in the junior high school type age, and sometimes they practice it. Sometimes they want to better their English, but sometimes if they know they're going to stay in Japan and they don't have that many English speaking friends, they may just forget English over the years. But yeah, I found a lot of foreigners that don't speak a lot of English. One other thing is that the place I'm staying in, it's not a traditional place, so it doesn't have a bed, it doesn't have mirrors in the room, it does have a TV, it does have a phone, but it doesn't really have any chairs. So you're supposed to sit or kneel for most of the time that you're in here. The one thing that it does have that's like a bed is a Japanese futon. Now, what that pretty much is it has a pad at the bottom. It has a thicker blanket, and then it would have traditional bedding sheets that you wrap around the futon, and it has pillows, of course. So that's what you use. It's easy to move, it's easy to maintain, it's easy to wash, and yeah, it's depending on the futon you have, it can be a bit rough or it could be very comfortable. The futon that I had in my host family's home was very comfortable. It didn't feel like I was sleeping on the ground. But with this one, it felt like I was sleeping on the ground a bit. But it's great for the back. It seems like a lot of people really just come to Japan to experience it for themselves. They don't really care about the language barriers and they just want to check it out, which is pretty cool. There's people all over the world that have the same interest in the country that I do, and they won't let language stop them. So if you're watching this video and you think that, I don't want to come to Japan because I don't speak the language, come anyway. You know, it's not that hard to even figure out through hand gestures or whatever what the individual is saying, and the individual that's Japanese may speak some English either. You never know. So that's just a quick summary of day 3. And as always, you guys are going to see some photos summing up day 3 coming soon.
Alex, bye.
Alex, bye.
Oh, see you next time.
See you next time.